Hello and welcome to another team member spotlight. We have Nicole Peraino here today for our special interview. It's hard to look at you now and not think of your daughter.
Oh my God. That's so nice. Yeah.
Is it weird?
My little mini me.
Is it weird?
Being a mom?
Yeah.
Even when you say that, I'm like, I don't feel like a mom. I just feel like my same old self, but I have this child to take care of now.
What's it like?
Forever. Forever? I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. I mean, obviously I can.
You can do it. Of
obviously
course you
I can, but it's like, I don't feel like I have the proper training. Obviously, nobody has training to be a parent.
So what's
same way I didn't feel like I could be a loan officer.
But you're crushing that.
Yeah, so it's been absolutely amazing. It's been the best thing in my life to happen to me because she's amazing to watch her grow, but also it's made me into the best version. Well, I won't say it's made me into the best version of myself. It's made me want to become the best version of myself for the first time in my life. Not even my business could make me want to be such a great person, you know? Like I wanted to be good for the business, but I didn't really want it as much as I wanted it now. When I think about, like, I get even like a little teary when I think about it, because I'm like, I want to be like healthy. I want to be like strong. I'm emotional. I'm emotional ever since I got pregnant. Like I used to be like
strong.
Yeah,
and
I used
tough.
to be like funny. I used to be like a funny person. Like I was, now I'm like, I cry all the time ever since getting pregnant and having the baby. And I thought it was going to go away. Like the hormones are like settling down. No, it keeps getting worse. I keep getting more emotional.
Well, it's a good
but
thing.
That's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
Emotion's not a bad thing at all. It's controlled.
It's controlled.
So for you, when you say like you want to be the best version of yourself for your daughter, what is that? What does that look like?
Sleep, exercise. I mean, like all these things. Like because I asked myself, how do I want to show up for her? How do I want? And I think back, like, how did I see my parents exist in the world? And it was a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, not a lot of positive emotions. They're amazing people. They provided so much for me. And that was even hard to get over because it almost like felt guilty saying that about them because they did provide to me so much. But did I see an example of them being like very happy and like, set, like feel good about their lives? Like not so much. Like my dad hated his going to work every day. Like he came home every day. That's all I remember is him coming home, hating his job and his career. And like, so anyway, I want to show up for her as a calm presence and she can see that as an example. She can also feel like she can come to me and I'm calm. And then I ask myself, okay, how am I going to be a calm presence? I'm running a business and building a business and it never stops. It doesn't go like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. It's always on. So how am I going to stay calm and not get sucked into like the whirlwind tornado and be like chaotic? And then the answer to that is I have to get enough sleep. I have to get enough time to myself, which only can exist in the early mornings. And I have to exercise. And then if I do all those things, you literally told me this in the beginning of the year. I have the text message from it. You said to me, like, I showed you all my goals and you were like, you have so many goals. You have too many things. Just boil it down. Because if you focus on these things, the other ones will fall in place. And it was absolutely right. You said, like, if you just focus on the sleep, the having 12 outbound calls, like who you call is going to work out and it's going to fall into place. Like you're going to cover your pipeline and your prospecting and you're going to be able to cover everybody, but just kind of make it like 3 key things. And so it was like sleep, 12 outbound calls, and exercise. And now the midway into the year, Q2, the sleep has adjusted. So it used to be 11 to 6 a.m. Now I'm pushing it to 5:30 a.m. because I need that extra half hour in the morning to myself. And then I'm also training for this marathon. Somebody sucked me into doing it, but it is the best thing that's happened to me. And I feel the best. And that's also now the exercise portion has adjusted, but it's still, the constant is still there. And then of course the phone calls for the business is still there. It's like the constant. And then my daughter. So like I have those and like spend time with her and like, that's it. Then everything else in my life has to like fit around
those
core
things.
Yeah, those core things. It's like those things have to happen. Even today, I said no to my mom, and that's very hard for me to do because I have this insane, like, guilty pool. Like, I just feel so bad. Like, I had to say yes, but I said no because it was a Monday night. She wanted me to go out, take the baby, take McKinley, like, go. And I said yes. And then I actually called her back this morning and I said, Mom, I'm sorry. I should have told you no in the first place. It's not going to work out. It's a Monday night. I need to, like, protect my time. Like, I'm in my rhythm. I'm working all day. I'm going to be exhausted. And I need to make sure I get to sleep on time because the rest of my week then is going to suffer if I do this tonight. So
that's really good. I mean, honestly, I think I have this situation now where I literally, like, I plan my flights around my core things. So, like, I used to be like, well, if I'm going this week, I'm going to Chicago. So it'd be like, I want to get the most out of my time there. So I would plan my flights to get there as early as possible. And whenever the last day was there, I'd fly out the last flight possible. Now I've just learned, like, I'm going to sleep like shit if I do that 2 days in a row. I'm not going to exercise. So now I've, like, similar to you, it's like, those are my protected things. So now I book my flights after and before those things are going to happen so it doesn't disrupt it. How do you hold yourself accountable to this best version of yourself? Like, what is the structure? What are the things that you're doing that really, you gave the example of your mom saying no to her, but, like, on a daily basis, your routines, like, how do you create that accountability in your daily routines?
Track it all. So I started with just, in the beginning of the year, I started with just a document, Google document, where I was putting well, it started as a note, like we were sharing back and forth. It was like a note in my iPhone, like a check or an X. It was like, did I do this? Did I not do this? I forget where. It was either Atomic Habits or 12-Week Year or Slight Edge.
Yeah.
That's right.
I still use
Slight Edge. You're either giving a vote towards the best version of yourself or you're giving a vote towards the not best version of it, like the worst version of yourself. And sometimes I do slip up still, but so much less. I slip up so much less now because I've created this feeling like I know what I'm capable of and I know what the best version of myself is. And I know when I gave a vote to the worst version of myself. Like, even the littlest thing that happened last night, I got on the couch and I had 1 or 2 things to do in my email after I put the baby to bed. And I always say 9 o'clock, I got to stop on the computer because there's always things I have to catch up on. And I do try to spend the whole night, like dinner time with my baby. So I, like, put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I have an auto text message that goes out to people that text me. So if somebody's like, hey, we're putting an offer in or something, and it's like from 4:30 to 8:30, I'm like, I'm not going to answer.
Yeah.
It's going to be very scattered. So I say, I'm going to get back on my phone at 8:30 p.m. though. That's the auto message that goes out. So then after that, I have to catch up, but I try to get off the computer at 9 p.m. That's the biggest struggle. And I know when I know immediately when I made the wrong decision. Like, the page was taking too long to load and my ADHD brain, it went and started looking at homes on Zillow. and I went down the whole rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I lost 30 minutes of my time that night. I could have been spending it with Ray, my husband. I could have been getting to sleep earlier. I could have been just relaxing. But instead, that small little task, because I didn't have the patience to wait for the page to load, I went down the rabbit hole. But the point is, immediately I knew I messed up. And I even say it out loud to Ray. Like, he just hears everything. I messed up. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. But it's like, okay, now tonight I have another chance. Don't do it. Don't do it again. And every little habit like that pops up and it's like, ooh, I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't promote the best version of myself. Then I just give myself check or X. So it's like, did I go to sleep and wake up on time? Did I get my exercise in? Did I make my 12 calls? It's either a check or an X. That's it. And then the score your day is huge.
Yeah.
You give me that as well.
That's one, like, I think you and I both like James Clear. One of the things he says is, like, a missed habit is a mistake. Missed habit twice is a new habit.
Yes.
So like, that's when I kind of remind myself towards is like, I know I'm going to mess up. And usually, like, my biggest issue is eating is like, I'll just eat bad, or I'll just like, it's really just eating bad. And I'll just, like, be like, once I do it, I'm like, I'm not going to shame myself. It's just like, you did it. Now don't do it again, because that's a new habit. So I think, for you, I've seen you put this very disciplined architecture in place where it's like you're checking off the things that you need to be doing daily. When you don't, you bring visibility to it. You almost like want that accountability to be visible. So like you like know not to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that intentionality of like knowing like, man, I made that mistake. I could have been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And memorializing in your head. So like for self-awareness, the next time it happens, it's like, no, I'm not going down the Zillow rabbit or whatever the situation is.
Even another great example. This has happened a few times, so I know it's like a thing. I'll get to the end of the week, and Fridays I try to only work either the morning or the afternoon. So I try to take half my day off and spend it with McKinley and with Ray. So it's a lot, but I still have to make 12 outbound calls. And I still have to, people are putting in offers. Like a lot of things are happening on the weekend. So it's tough, but this has happened many times before. I'll go through it in my head. Like Friday morning will come, Friday afternoon, whatever. I haven't gotten to the 12 calls yet. And I'm like, am I going to get an X? Like I'm not putting an X on there. And I work myself up and I'm like, oh, I start like self-deprecating. You suck. Just put the X. Just give yourself the X, whatever. And then I tell myself, then the other person comes back. Is like, what are you talking about? No, just make the calls. You put the check mark. Like it goes back and forth. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, like on my shoulder. And that dialogue happens in my head. And eventually the stronger person wins. And it says, just start dialing the phone. And then I make the calls. And what happens is I always have an amazing call at the end of a Friday afternoon, especially when it's like, it's 6 p.m. And I'm like, why are you even calling somebody? Nobody's going to answer you on Friday at 6 p.m. Well, last week I had a great conversation with a listing agent I did a deal with a year and a half ago. She remembered me. Oh my God, you were great. I want to send a deal to you. I love that you're out here hustling. Like she loved it that I called her at 6 p.m. on a Friday. And she's, I hear your baby in the background. She's like, I love it. So I'll like have a lead that's like kind of went cold and I check in on them and like we have a great call. So it always solidifies like just do the activity. You never know what's going to happen from it. And I always tell myself, what's the worst thing that happens? You call them after 6 p.m. Nobody answers. Okay, at least you did the activity. You gave yourself a vote that you are that person that makes your calls every day. And it gets easier and easier every week.
100%. And honestly, that story is like people like you're spotlighting exactly the thing I keep trying to like put out into the world, which is like people are attracted to the people that just do the things they're supposed to do. Because so many people feed into that other version that you talked about, the weaker version, and that becomes the majority. So they respect, oh my God, this person's calling me at 6 o'clock on a Friday and their baby's in the background. They're just doing it. It's a big attraction. So for you going from, marketing or video production to marketing to business development to loan officering, what has been the biggest learning lesson along the way? What do you feel like makes you prepared to be excelling in this role and in this stage of your life?
Well, the biggest learning lesson has been you can never plan your life. I think that's been the biggest lesson. You cannot know. You will never know. Like getting out of college, I don't even recognize who is that person at this point. Who is
that's
that?
Like 5 lifetimes ago.
Yeah, literally 5 lifetimes. I'm like, it's like a distant like relative. I'm like, hey, little girl over there, with no idea who she was, who she could become. No confidence. That's the other thing. I was this like vibrant personality, but only it was like a very thin shell on the outside. Like you touch it, it would crack. It was just like hollow inside. Like that was me. And that's a lot of people, I think. You really like, and you try to like start asking yourself, like, who am I? What do I stand for? What do I want out of life? Kayla Lopez told me one time to journal, what do you want out of life? That kind of started it when I was really in a rut of like, because for a while I was like acquiring so much knowledge at like a rapid pace. Like I got introduced to you it was like a wild time. Like I was meeting all these people at like dinners, CEOs, business owners. And like, I was just like, that wasn't my world.
Figure it out. Yeah.
That wasn't my world. I didn't understand all that. So I was like acquiring so much knowledge and information at so much. And then it all became like very overwhelming and it put me into like a depressive state. And then I had to rise from the ashes, as they say, it really did feel like that.
Yeah.
It was like, it's like a rising. It's like you're like, okay, who am I to come out of all of this? Like, who am I? And it's a very hard question to ask. I still have to ask myself it every day, but I have a lot more confidence now in my answers of like who I am, what I can achieve. Like even sometimes as I'm running, I'm like, can I make it a little bit farther? And then I'm like, I created human life with my body. I can run one more mile. Of course I can. Like, of course. Like I have that dialogue going in my head. Like, yes, you could do it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? So now it's like, can I build my business to 50 million, 100 million? Yes. Like it's not even like a question, but then it's like, do I want to? That's a different question.
Is that what you want? It's not a matter of like, like, can you execute on the task? It's really like, is that what you want of your life? Does the life of that person match the life that you want for not just you, but
yes, the whole family.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
So biggest takeaway or thing that you would like the UMortgage community to know about you or anything, what would that be?
Okay. Well, I would say definitely talk to me. Reach out to me. So many people have helped me along the way. Obviously, you've been the biggest supporter in my life. I would say you have been the biggest supporter of my life. Honestly,
one of the biggest supporters.
You have been the biggest supporter in only that way that you can be. Like other people have cheered me on and support. Obviously, like I said, my parents love me. They're there for me, but nobody has pushed me to be the best version of myself. Ray has done it too.
And McKinley.
And McKinley. Yeah. In her little infancy. Yeah. Stage. But even like from the day I met you, you have been the one that's seen the potential in me. So I would say, and then there's been many people out of the spider web of knowing you and knowing other, like so many people that have guided me and helped me throughout the way. So I guess I would say to everybody, like, do not stay isolated, because the biggest thing I'm still struggling with now is feeling very lonely and feeling very like isolated. I have you to talk to. I have Kaden to talk to. I have Ray, but it's like, it's still only me at the end of every day. It's only me with my habits. It's only me with my business. It's only me. Like so I can only imagine for somebody who's working from home, not going into an office, even if you are going into the office, but you're not talking to your branch manager every day. It's like, just reach out to somebody and talk to them and tell them what you're feeling. People listening probably have way more friends than me too. Like I literally have no friends. So if they have a friend, like talk to them, like say what's on your mind. Don't try to just struggle through in silence and think that you're going to make it. So yeah, definitely reach out, talk to somebody. And then I have to shamelessly plug Tempo and say, you have to use Tempo. Use Tempo, because I forgot to mention that when you said, like, how do I hold myself accountable? It's Tempo. So on the weekend, I'm in CEO mode, and that's when I'm the CEO of my business. During the week, I'm working and I'm executing on the tasks. Then on the weekend, I go in Tempo and I look at my day calendar and I put the time blocks for either
future week.
Yeah. So I know if Monday morning comes around and my calendar blocks are not there, like every single day has 12 contacts to call.
So you put that all in on the weekend?
It's all there.
Nice.
Yeah. There's never a day where I come in and I'm like, oh, who am I going to call today? It's at least 12. And if a new client books on top of that, that's extra. That's a bonus, great. But I have 12 contacts to call. Clients, referral partners, happy birthday messages, like everybody. So that has to, and I follow the theme days mostly. Like Mondays, I try to do realtors, status updates, pre-approvals, past clients. Fridays, like a catch-all like day.
Yeah.
but it has to be planned in tempo. And then I go in tempo and actually check them. And then my little tracker in tempo tells me I made 12 outbound calls. So like if that is at 0,
you have 12
I know I
days.
had a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And or I know I got to get going. So
yeah. So
it's
for
pretty simple.
So for everybody, her thought process and like strategy is like Monday through Friday, she's working in her business. So she's doing the doing. She's making the calls. She's following the theme days. She's having her appointments. She's doing business. When she says she's in CEO mode on the weekend, she's basically reflecting on the previous week, identifying anything she didn't do, anything she needs to do, and then she's scheduling out her entire week for the following week to make sure it's locked in, dialed in. I think one of the biggest differentiators there is like she's not winging it. She's not coming in on Monday or Tuesday and like, oh, who am I calling? It's like that's what she does on the weekends is she plans out the week. And that little bit of structure is what sets her up for success. Mm-hmm. So that is our team member spotlight of the week. If you don't know Nicole, please feel free to reach out to her. I think the biggest thing Nicole, would say is we talked about the concept of like seeing somebody's potential. I think one of the things that I always look for is not just somebody's potential because that's like, what they can potentially do. I always look at somebody's floor. And to me, like Nicole had a really high floor, like great energy, positive mindset, showed up every day, wanted to be successful, was coachable, had a humility to her approach to communicating with people, where she could be open to hearing their feedback and things like that. So I look at that as a high floor. When you decide who you're going to spend time with, I always just recommendation I would do is like find people like that. Find people with a high floor. Don't find people with toxic floors or negative floors or things like that. Like being a loan officer is hard. I know there was different times when Nicole almost quit and, I had to resuscitate her and be like, hey, you got this, one more month, one more week. And there's a lot of loan officers out there like that. And I just want to put that out to everybody is like, you can do this. Just like Nicole said, she can run that extra mile. Just like she said, she can accomplish, whatever she wants as a salesperson. All of you can do that as well. But you have to make sure the voices that you're feeding yourself are voices that support you achieving those things, not people that are saying, that sales thing, you should go for the 9 to 5, or you should go for this, or you should go for that. You need those positive reinforcing voices. So thank you, Nicole. This has been awesome and look forward to seeing everybody on our next Team Member Spotlight.